Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Brownstone. It's your girl, Paulette. You are currently watching what else? The Day Shift. I'm really excited for you all to be here this morning. We're trying out some new and different things. And of course, I'm not sitting behind my green screen. So, of course, it looks like I'm halfway about to disappear in my hat and so forth, but that's okay. We're in here to try something different for you all as we start to transition to new things here within the Brownstone. So, if you are not familiar with who I am, my name is Paulette, and I am the owner and founder of BrownstoneWorldwide.com and also KCCR Radio, the Brownstone, which falls under Brownstone Worldwide. And our job here at the Brownstone is to help to change the narrative and welcome you home where everyone is connected. So, let's get started. The first thing that we want to talk about today, just off of the cuff, is, of course, the launch. We're excited about that. So, what I wanted to tell you is that right now the soft launch actually begins now. No longer September 5th, like we said earlier, because brownstoneworldwide.com is actually live right now. And what we're asking that you guys go over, check us out, see what you like, see what you don't like, give us some positive or negative feedback, or let us know what you would like to see. That's the best thing that you can do because then that way we can give you exactly what you are seeking in the community that we are building just for you. That's first and foremost. Super exciting time here in the Brownstone. Let's talk a little bit about what you can expect here in the Brownstone. First of all of our shows, which are on KCCR, is going to have a place here called home in the Brownstone. Okay. So you're going to find Ear Hustle Radio, one of our podcast series, available KCCR Radio, the app. You'll also be able to find the day shift. You'll also be able to find the Sunday brunch every Sunday. We also have a couple of new shows that are coming as well that you'll be excited to hear about. One is with our relationship expert, Marshana Lania. Her show actually starts September 5th. And then we have another amazing show that is coming to the fold, and that is with Nicole Johnson. You guys may be familiar with her because she actually hangs out with us at Cullen's Corner. Then, of course, there's DJ Tony Sanchez, who airs his show on KCCR Radio, The Brownstone, on Saturdays and Sundays. You heard that right, Saturdays and Sundays, and it is called The Eye of the Storm. A little bit of old school, a little bit of blues, a little bit of jazz, and everything to help you to set the mood for your next day. Then, of course, we have Cullen's Corner, one of our flagship shows. You don't want to miss that ever. First of all, the video version of the show is always available for you to view on BWTV at brownstoneworldwide.com. We're excited about that as well. Not to mention the fact that you'll be able to check out our amazing series for Black and Brown businesses called Brownstone's Best. So if you are a Black entrepreneur, you are looking to get more eyeballs on your business, you need to reach out to us and let us know exactly what you need from us. And we'll be able to support you in the best way that we can with the packages that are available for you. What else is available through brownstoneworldwide.com? Our audience. That's for business owners. For those of y'all didn't catch that, right? So, of course, we have advertising packages that are available for businesses of any size. And then also, we have our sponsorship packages for all of those folks who want to make sure that we keep the lights on. And we are absolutely appreciative of those people who have reached out and who want to commune with our community. And then also, we have contributing writers. We are absolutely looking for you, the expert in your field. You're the SME, not us. And this is where it's going to become air apparent when you come along and join the Brownstone family. What does this mean? And why do we continue to call it the Brownstone? So Cullen and I, my co-founder in chief, right? He and I got together and we were talking about what it was like growing up in the hometown where we grew up in. We went to school together and we were really good friends all through school, and we kept in touch over the years. And we decided that the best thing to do is, of course, to start something that we began years ago. And that was we literally started doing the morning announcements in high school together, right? We didn't know that it was going to end up like this, but the drive was so strong, we decided, let's go ahead and continue to keep moving through what we are vibing with, what we are experiencing, all of that cool stuff. So we sat back and we decided that we wanted to find out why it was so important that we explain what we mean when we say welcome home. Where we grew up on the north side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it was a time where everyone knew each other. It was also a time where, and still is, where Milwaukee, Wisconsin was known as one of the most segregated cities in the US. If not, I think it was number one. So, what we decided to do was to talk about what was important to us back then. Family was absolutely important. I knew his dad. His dad was my computer teacher. um, let's see. Um, we all hung out together. We went to Rocky Rococo's together after wrestling meets and things like that, and football games and all of those things. But we became connected to the arts through plays and musicals and things that were available for us to do in our community. And after high school, of course, we went away to college and we remained connected. I went away to the entertainment industry and he did his thing locally while he built his family. And life just continued to happen and we again remained connected. Then the power of the internet came along and it was all hands on deck. Cullen's Corner was born in the middle of a tumultuous period for the both of us, and it was the best thing that ever happened. So we built Cullen's Corner, an amazing show of a community of people just like where we grew up. So let's talk about where we grew up. Back in the day, it was right after the riots, after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. And we saw the residue of what happened in our community. There was nothing left, especially in specific areas of the city that is now called Old World 3rd Street if you go home to Milwaukee. But back then there was nothing there because it had all been destroyed in the riots. So the only thing that was left were the people. And they learned how to get together and commune together, no matter whether they were Christian or Muslim or any of the other religions or spirituals. They all connected because we all looked alike. We all were experiencing the same thing in our community. And so we learned how to work together. There were those of us who had family members who had businesses. There were those of us who had friends in school that we went to, and we patronized their family businesses all of the time. There was a Mallet grocery store. And I remember I went to school with one of the kids whose family owned that establishment. On every corner that I remember when I was a kid, we knew the owners. We knew them by name. They knew us. They knew our families. We were connected, all of us, because we knew we were all we had, right? And I know that all throughout the United States of America, there were Black and brown communities just like that. We don't talk about that anymore. We don't celebrate what used to be. And because we grew up and we went away and we got our college degrees and we went to bigger cities and all of that other stuff, you don't forget that root of always finding a place to go home to. Do you? I don't think you do. And so, one of the things that I remember, and we talked about this candidly, he and I, when we were just having our after the interview kind of conversation, right? And we talked about our community, how there was always the lady on the street that everybody knew. She was everybody's big mama, grandmama, auntie, whoever, right? Everybody knew her and she knew all of the kids. And she knew that she could discipline you and it would be okay because mama and daddy, while they were away at work, because we were an industrial city, that's where everybody worked. Either Fister Vogel, you had Schlitz at the time, you had Miller, which is still around, and there's Blackspear, Wonder Bread, Ambrosia Chocolates, all of the major corporations, including Masterlock and Koss, and what was the other one? There was a publishing company that was there at one time. Well, anyway, that's where everybody worked. And everybody took care of their family and they raised their kids and they bought their homes. And the homes that we bought in those areas used to belong to a group of people that didn't even want us around at the time. But we took what was left and we made it ours. Those churches on the corners, the corner store where you could get your penny candy, all Black owned businesses, the boutique where you bought your shoes or your hats or your dresses, all of those things were places we could go because they looked like us and we were comfortable. There was a beauty supply store back in the day when I was a kid growing up that I would walk to go and get my beauty supplies when I was old enough to be able to walk to the store by myself. It was about 2 miles away from the house, and it was called Powell's Gift Shop. And Powell's sold nothing but beauty supplies and cute little things for your home. I don't know why they called it Powell's. There were also a couple of other things as well. Because the area where we were growing up in was once a Jewish and Polish community, a lot of those businesses were still around and still are. Jake's Delicatessen is still on North Avenue. Blows my mind every time I think about it. But Jake's Delicatessen sells some of the best corned beef ever known to man. Period. Hands down. I stand by it. Go check them out. So you also had Gallust. You also had, or Goust. You also, which was a grocery store at the time. They have expanded their horizons. There was Marcus, and Marcus is where all of the folks went to go and get their school clothes and school supplies and all of that, and be able to save money during difficult times. There was Capitol Court, but the thing that was really most interesting was I could look up David somebody because I knew them. I could walk down the street and turn the corner, and the music would be blaring outside of the bar that Mr. Jones owned. And he also owned the candy shop and the little restaurant where you could go and order hot dogs and ice cream after school. There was Tasty Twist right there. They're still there. Tasty Twist. When I was expecting my first daughter before I relocated to Georgia, that was where I would go to get a Chicago style hot dog. 7 Mile Fair, all of the things. And here's what I remember about everything was that the community that I grew up in was full of beautiful, amazing, accomplished Black and brown people. That is not on anyone else. But because we were so secluded in the community that we were in, the north side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin was full of people that I knew. And I was comfortable because I knew these people. They knew me, they knew my family, the businesses, all of that. The pool hall, let's not forget the pool hall, or the Twisters where all of the bikers would come on the weekends and come and hang out, or the Prince Hall, Masonic Hall, where my dad was actually one of their members. He was a Mason. So these were places that we recalled. These were places where you patronized and you spent your dollars, where you worshiped, because of course there was a church on every corner, right? There were places for us to work out that belonged to us. And we were in the community that we were in, but we were also a part of the broader perspective of what Milwaukee, Wisconsin was and still is. And I'm glad to see that there's been a rebirth of sorts. I've gone home a couple of times since I've relocated to Atlanta. And it's a good vibe. It's a good feel. And so what we are looking to do and what we have done is created a space called the Brownstone. And let me explain where that name comes from. I grew up, my mother had a brownstone. And I had, what was it? It was 8 of us, I think. I don't recall. Because 9? Well, I had a lot of siblings. And I still have a lot of siblings. Some have passed on. And we grew up in a brownstone. My mother stayed on the 3rd floor. Her sister stayed on the 2nd, I believe. And my cousin stayed on the 1st floor. And the spiraling wood stairs and the Tiffany windows, I remember those as clear as day. And it has stuck with me. And it was actually on a street called 24th and Brown. And then I thought to myself as I grew up that brownstone, the vibe, the energy in the house, because it was so beautiful and old and it was well kept, there was an energy that was with it. It was beautiful. And the building is no longer there, or the buildings, because there were rows of them. And they were torn down. And I'm not sure exactly what's there now. I haven't been in the area. But what I will tell you is this, is that there was a connectivity that was there. We knew everybody that was on that row of apartments. We knew everybody, everyone. We knew them by name. We used to call ourselves going together back in the day. We knew their moms and their dads. all of that. It was a great time. Looking back on it now, growing up in the 70s and the 80s. What we know is we can't get that back because we've all grown up. And I want my friends and family to know that that's why the Brownstone was created, to connect, to have a place for you to feel at home. And that is where you get Cullen's Corner, a group of friends coming together, talking about the latest topics of the day that you inspire. We don't make those up, you send those to us. The Day Shift, where you get your news and information that you can use. Because one of the first things that a lot of those folks did in our community, my brother actually owned a restaurant. It was called Slim's Diner. And we would be there early in the morning when I was old enough to. And there would be bacon frying, and people would be making their orders and sipping coffee. And the jukebox would be softly playing. And there was a TV in the upper corner, right above the counter, where you could sit and order your food if you were going to eat at the counter. And the news would be blaring first thing in the morning as people pored over their newspapers. The Milwaukee Sentinel. That was the morning paper. The Milwaukee Journal came out at night. And everyone in there was on their way to work, or they were retired, and they would sit there and tell amazing stories. And I would take their order and deliver their food, and they would tell me the tips and tricks and topics of the day. Hence, tips, topics, and talk. Those are the little snippets that you see on social media that I do when I feel like putting on a wig. Then, of course, we have those moments where you would walk out of that place and you would go up the street to the YMCA, and you could go and jump in the pool if you decided to do that. Everybody looked like me. And we could wave at each other and say, how you doing? How's the day going? Good to see you. There was a McDonald's up the street. It's still there, but they've renovated it. It looks so nice. And so the community begins to change. But one thing that hasn't changed is when you go home, you feel at home. Be who you are. Supporting your community. Connecting with people so that our dollars circulate our community, so that we have the power to say yes or no where we need. And also the power to hire within our communities, to leave a legacy for our families, for our kids, kids, long after we're gone. Because that day's going to come. Brownstone Worldwide is a place where we want to make sure that we're changing the narrative on how we are seen in this virtual space. We want you to join us. We really do. And we want you to enjoy yourself along the way. So, once again, if you just want to show us some love, come and show us some love. Follow us at the Brownstone Center on Facebook. We also have our group, Brownstone's Best. Come and commune, set a spell, have a slice of pie, cup of tea, whatever you want. Grab the news from Brownstone Worldwide, because guess what? Even though we are changing the narrative for us, we're also a part of the world. So we don't extricate anyone, but we want to make sure that we empower us, because at the end of the day, we all we got, like Tony Sanchez says. So listen, I don't want to take up any more of your time. This was a special today, and I wanted to come on here and hang out with you all for a little while and let you hear about Brownstone Worldwide, why we are who we are. We're like a Sesame Street for grown folks, and all of the things in between. We want to make sure that you know us, and we want to know you. We want to know what you like, what you want to hear, what you want to see. You're the voice, not us. And so this platform, including KCCR, is here for you. Be the voice. Change your narrative. Help us change the narrative on how we are seen. Let people see the real us, who we are. I'm a big proponent of that. If you've ever seen Brownstone's Best, you actually know that's one of the questions that we ask. What's the good, the bad, and the ugly? What is the real truth about being a Black entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, period? Because it ain't easy. And what advice can you give to those who are coming after you, who decide or have the dream to do what they want to do? We want you here. We want you to feel at home. Hence the mantra, welcome home, because I always feel at home when I go home to Wisconsin. Stay, mind you, but because it brings back those nostalgic feelings that everything is going to be okay. That's just it. It's that in a nutshell. The warmth of that, the vibe of that. We want you all to be a part of that. I welcome you into my kitchen every Sunday for the Sunday brunch. Not this week, though. Not this week. We're preparing for the lunch. I very well may do something while I am home. You guessed it. I'm going home just for a little while. A couple of days. We'll be back. We're going to hang out, do something together. I feel like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is happening right before our eyes. Maybe not. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. If you found this to be helpful, go ahead and check us out. I'm going to go ahead and put the information at the bottom of the screen so that you can go ahead and check out everything that is the Brownstone. And here's something else. We're not done. We're growing. There's so many things that we are eventually going to be offering. We want you to wear the Brownstone. We want you to exude the Brownstone. We want you to be a part of this community and connect with us. You got something to say? We got space for you here. You want to have a place on the block as an advertiser or business? We got you. We want to connect and make sure that we remain strong together as things change in the real world. We want positive. You want your news and information that you can use? Absolutely. Head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com. Hey, you want to check out Brownstone's Best? It's right there. Brownstone Worldwide TV, BWTV, it's right there. Content right there for you, and more is coming. Make sure that you let everyone know. That's what I got to say. Make sure that you let everyone know. I'm so excited that I literally feel like I am oozing a secret out bit by bit by bit. Those of you all who have watched us, who have been a part of the original Cullen's Corner crew, shout out to all of them, first of all. Shout out to Dee Page. Shout out to Cullen Carey, Lamont Belton, Winnie Phillips, and Miss Nikki. All of those folks, and not to mention Clay Jackson, may he rest in peace, who was also part of Brownstone. We have regrouped. Here we are on a new frontier that is going to hopefully and helpfully and prayerfully change the narrative. We can't do this without you guys. Join us. Join us, and enjoy the ride. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I can't leave without telling you that we have some events that are coming up. We're excited about that. Can't wait to share it with you. So again, if you're interested in finding out how you can be a part of the Brownstone and help to say welcome home to many, many, many people, go ahead to the Contact Us page, choose the drop-down option. Let us know what you want to do. You want to be a contributing writer? We got space for you. You want to advertise? Oh, we got space for you. Want to be one of our major sponsors? We definitely have space for you. You want to find out how you can be a part of Brownstone's Best? We got you. Let's continue to change the narrative, folks. I will see you on Monday for another edition of the Day Shift. You guys, here is the link. I'm going to go ahead and put it at the bottom of the screen. It's already live, folks. Let's go ahead and enjoy ourselves. That's what we want to make sure that we do. Welcome home. Welcome home. You all have a great rest of your day. I need coffee. Bye.